Welcome to B2B Life with Jeff Brummer. This is your chance to listen in on conversations with successful entrepreneurs and business owners on their journey to success. Every story is different, but after consulting thousands of businesses over the last 20 years managing their business payments, Jeff has seen what works and what doesn't. From inspiration to tactics to a good laugh, helping leaders build more fulfilling businesses and lives is what B2B Life is all about.
Hello, welcome to the B2B Life Show, where we meet and connect with high performers and you find out what makes them tick, both professionally and personally. My name is Jeff Brummer, and I've helped over 2,600 business owners and C-level clients over the last 20 years in professional services, in cash flow management, and personal and business goals. My guest today is Pete Cardin in Idaho Business Lending. Pete's been doing lending for 12 years, and Idaho Business Lending is his entity. He shops the best loans for his business clients and is a broker and excels in his industry. We've worked together for the last couple of years, and I've had some great success stories of my clients connecting with Pete, getting some capital for their business, and look forward to talking with Pete today. Pete, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Jeff?
Good. Thanks for hopping on. This is the second part of our little two-part series where we get to know you just a little deeper. I'm excited to kind of figure out what makes you tick. I know we've talked a few times. You got a great family. You got a couple of kids. Get maybe a little personally. Tell us for those that didn't hop onto the first part. Tell us about your family. Tell us about who you are.
Yeah, I've lived here in Idaho for about 12 and a half years, and it's treated me really well. Really enjoy it here. I got a wife of 15 years. I got a 12-year-old daughter and he's 8. Don't tell him. 8-year-old son.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, a couple, let's see, middle schooler and an elementary kid.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. Good.
Yeah.
Well, good. Yeah. So you've gotten into the lending world, which has been a pretty funny roller coaster probably over the last few years. But tell us about what you do, kind of how you got into it. I know you've gotten some great traction, kind of getting up on your own here in the last few years.
Yeah. So about a year and a half ago, I went off on my own. I've been a lender and working for large banks, small banks, different things of that nature. Went out on my own. I thought I could do things a little bit better for the clients. I broker business loans, and there's not a lot of us out there. There's some, don't get me wrong, but there's not a lot of us out there, and it's unfortunate. You look at your insurance, you look at your mortgage, and you use brokers for those because you want the best deals. You want the loans that most well fit you and your needs. So that is what I stepped out to go do, is just to go help businesses get the money they need and get the best option for them possible. That looks different for everybody, right? But the desire is to fund businesses better than you can within one institution. There's a lot of different options out there. And nothing's cookie cutter for anybody. And so if I can give them the best option for them, I'm helping their business more than I can do within a single institution. Okay.
Do you have a recent, it doesn't even have to be recent, but a little story where a traditional, I'm assuming your competitor would be a bank where they only have one solution and they want to kind of cram you into that solution. Do you have what's a recent success story where you kind of help the client in what you do well?
Yeah. So I don't look at banks as competition, really. I look at them as partners because I do a lot of work with banks, right? I work with a lot of different kinds of lenders. I have private lenders. I have hard money lenders. I have banks. I have kind of a secondary market for clients that need that, and that's okay. So very much my banking relationships, they're a partnership. And right now, I can tell you, I'm working on 2 acquisition loans. They're 2 of my favorite deals I've ever done in my entire life. These 2 acquisition loans, without getting into too much detail on what I'm able to do for them, I have been able to, with both of these, get them in front of a lender that's about 2% below market rate. Not only that, they have a 10-year fixed loan. And so most the competitors out there, they're looking at a variable interest rate loan. They want to secure the loan with the house. And the rates are just high. And I happen to have a lender that's able to come in about 2% below, 10-year fixed. So they don't have to worry about rates changing down the road. If they want it to, great. Doesn't matter. Non-early termination penalties. So if they're able to refinance out later, they can do that. It's not going to cost them anything. They're not going to have to put their house on the line. It's a better deal than anyone else has out there. And there's only one institution that has that kind of deal right now. And I'm working on 2 of them right now. And it's awesome. It makes me very, very happy because I'm bringing a ton of value to my clients, saving them a ton of time and effort. And they can have the confidence that they're walking away with better than anything else that there is around.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. What states are you in? Like, what's your clientele? What states are you working in?
Yeah, I will work out of every state except for New York. New York has a few more rules, and I think I could if I wanted to. I don't have much demand out there anyways. So I had one guy from Brooklyn that I talked to. I just kind of directed him in a generalized direction, gave him a couple pointers, and sent him on his way. But my farthest client is in Florida. So, I cover majority of the country. So there's no, it's money, it travels.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The world's becoming more and more flat. And with technology, it's probably just as easy to have a client in another state compared to where you're at in Boise. So that's great.
One of my top clients, they are based out of Southern California. The CEO is based out of Colorado. So, I do quite a bit of at least western half of the state, western half of the country work.
Okay. Excellent. Well, now's the time to kind of brag here, Pete. So we've got in life, you've got talents, right? God-given talents, and you got skills, things that you've learned and acquired and grown with. Like, what would you say are your top either talent or skills that you've really brought to the table, whether it be personally or professionally in life, that you could kind of brag about yourself right now?
Man, love bragging about myself. I would say this. I don't know if this is a skill or talent or whatever, but I know that I have a drive and a motivation to help businesses out, and I probably spend way too much time helping clients that have not as much. Let's say they need a lot of help because they can't get it elsewhere. I guess maybe it's a spot and
maybe some struggling smaller clients is what you're implying.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Not a lot in it for me, but I really want to see them succeed, And so I have more passion and more desire to work with those kinds of businesses than the bigger clients, the bigger payday clients. I need those clients. I love those clients. They pay my bills. But that's really where my desire is to help those struggling businesses. I spent a lot of time helping out all kinds of companies, all kinds of situations. And some of my favorite stories are helping out the small guys that turned into the big guys and working with them from the start. And I absolutely love doing that. It's a passion for me more so than a money-making endeavor, but I think it's good.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, that's cool. So I would say that's a talent or a gift is the ability to empathize and to look out for the small guy. Like, I think that's pretty, definitely condonable, like, because there's a lot of guys out there, they're just hunting the bigger fish and they kind of push aside anybody that's not a certain amount of dollar amount in their pocket. So that's cool that you do that. Yeah. And eventually, not everything has to pay off, but down the road that could pay off, and if they get bigger and grow. So
yeah, I sat down probably, I don't know, it was probably 6 months ago now with another broker here in town. And I explained to him my business model. He explained to me his business model, and he looks at me and says, "I've never heard of anything like that before." I'm like,
Wow.
I'm just trying to help people.
Yeah.
That's all it
Yeah.
is. Trying to help people. I don't need you to come to the table needing millions and millions of dollars
Yeah.
um, to, be beneficial for me or for you. So
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, good. So what is it that motivates you? You kind of touched on a little bit helping out the little guy, but as far as it doesn't even have to be business, but in personal life, like what are things that motivate you? What's your why? Like what gets you out of the bed in the morning? Like what's something that you could say motivates you when you're having a rough day or rough because we always get those, you know?
yeah, rough days happen and that's all right. And I have a number of clients that have rough days all the time and they need somebody fighting for them in their corner. Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like I had a deal just last week that I was able to close. It was a tiny little deal. I'm getting nothing out of it, but helping a friend out. But I was able
Yeah.
to save 6 jobs in the process.
Wow. That's awesome.
Got somebody to change their policy, save 6 jobs. It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
And so it's things like that. I don't know, my needs are going to be met. I'll find a way regardless, or they're going to be met. However, we've all been employed, and we've all had to work for someone and count on them to be able to come and pay the bills. And so it's more so in many ways, it's more, dealing with trying to get things like payroll covered, taking care of other people's employees and all those kind of things. You're making an impact on more than just the business owner. You're making an impact on a ton of different families. I had a deal right at the end of last year, and it was taking care of payroll for, I think it was like 15 people, and people got to eat. So those are the things that get me up and running. You have a stronger community and stronger financial base. It's better for everyone around you. And if you can take care of those needs, that's important.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's definitely motivation is if you can hear some of those stories come back and if those owners can come back and tell you, hey man, this appreciate you, this helped this and this person and here's their life circumstance and now they're not having to hunt for a job and that's awesome. That's good motivation. So that's cool. What's so obviously we try I mean you're pretty experienced in both business and personal world, I'm sure, as far as life lessons, what's something that you can share with our audience as far as like a book or a podcast or a quote, like what's something that you like that you've read recently or maybe a mindset, like what's something you could share that with us that we could kind of learn something from.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I just, well, I guess I haven't quite finished. I'm well into it for the sixth time. I think I've lost track. I read the book quite a few times before I went out on my own because I always knew I would eventually, right?
Yeah.
It's a book. It's not for everybody, but it's definitely for me. It's called Evangelpreneur. It's a faith-based business book. Some of the
Okay.
information is a little bit dated at this point, but it's all about doing something. First off, doing something for yourself, whether that is a hot dog stand while you keep your 9 to 5, and you're selling hot dogs on the weekends or whatever the case is, whatever that is, but doing that and making sure that you are operating your business as a ministry.
Yeah.
For those faith-based folks, I highly recommend that book. I think I'm on my 6th reading of it now. I've
Josh
probably,
Tolley.
yep, I think I'm probably his best salesman. I love that book. Uh, I
Yeah.
probably sold
Well,
at least 10 copies for him.
yeah.
But that has had a profound impact on me. And I'm going through it again at the start of the year and, just a little refresher. And what are we doing and why are we doing it?
Yeah, that's cool. This looks good. I'm a big Audible fan, so I'll have to add this to the Audible list. Josh Tolley, Evangelopreneur. We'll put
Angel.
Evangelpreneur. Yeah, we'll put this in the show notes. Give people access to the link and check it out. This is cool. Let's see. Financial misconduct is destroying marriages, families, individuals, and churches. The record number of churches. Sure. Let's see. It basically, yeah, like you said, gives a mindset of how to involve faith, family, and freedom in your everyday life. So this looks good. Yeah, I haven't heard of this one. Okay. Trying to think here. Is it on Audible? Looks like
Oh
it
yeah.
is. Right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. No, as a fellow Christian, I think that'd be a good read. Definitely, the more you can overlap like your like business and personal life, and where there's it's called consilience, right? So you're not one person here and another person here, right? You're trying to be the same person, and in theory have values and principles that are not just a 9 to 5, but are your entire life, right? So you're there's no cognitive dissonance. You're one, you're one. Granted, you have your business hat on, but you're not having your whole business outfit change. Like you are who you are, and you kind of live that and evolve that through multiple facets of your life. So
If it's not all intertwined, you're doing it wrong.
yeah, it seems fake. Like, oh, it's definitely, certainly been times in my life where I'm like, man, why am I acting this way in this realm, but I act differently here? And it's like, it just feels like you got to be consistent. So that's cool. Yeah. We'll have to dig that in, and we'll put that in our notes. Appreciate that. Okay, well, let's see. What about, is there like a professional challenge in your life, or a professional challenge in your business? Maybe getting up and running, or something in the last year or two that you kind of had to delve into and pull yourself out of, like a trial that you want to share, something that you've learned a lesson from, that you could share with the
Yeah,
audience.
absolutely. I kind of touched on it earlier too. It's not that I'm doing something new. It's that what I'm doing is being done differently that's already than what is already being done. But it's
Mhm.
also the fact that it's not the first thought that people think of when they're looking to get some money. Their first thought is, I'll go to the bank, or I'll go online, or I'll go wherever the places that I have always gone. Where when you look at somebody like an insurance broker or a mortgage broker, that's a natural, hey, we know we're getting a mortgage. Let's go get a mortgage. Go to see a mortgage broker. A lot of times, these loans that you're looking at, they are possibly the largest loans you're ever going to take out. Many times they're more expensive than houses, different things like that. Well, take the time and effort and care to make sure that you're doing it properly, not going to the person you may or may not know at the institution you're at. They may or may not have the best product for you. You may or may
Yeah.
not be of the right person. And when those things are vetted, when those are taken care of for you, you can have the confidence that you're getting the right deal. You're getting the right person in front of you. You can have a perfectly good loan at a perfectly good bank, go in front of a banker that got a name tag a week ago and doesn't know what they're doing. And
Yeah.
you're saying, hey, I'm going to risk my entire business on this, and it should be fine because they have a name tag. So that's been the biggest thing that I have had to work through as a business owner, is just letting people know, hey, I'm here. What I do exists. It's a better way of running your business than what you're currently doing. It's not like I have a sandwich shop and I have the best sandwiches out there and people should come try my sandwiches and now they're a customer for life. It
Yeah.
is, this is something different. It's not what you're thinking about every day. And so that's
Yeah.
easily been the biggest hurdle that I've faced. I mean, I sell money. My phone rings constantly. There's no shortage of people looking for money.
Yeah.
But it's just a different way of doing things, a different way of doing business than what a lot of us are used to. And it's a better way of doing it. I charge a fee for my services, but my fee most of the time is paid for pretty darn quickly because I'm able
Yeah.
to work out discounts, find money in places you wouldn't know to look or even know how to
Yeah.
look.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, it seems like a no-brainer. Like, I think your biggest hurdle is that people generally don't think of lending in that way. They don't think of a lending broker, and that's something that you kind of have to get your name out there more than anyone else. Because I think it's a no-brainer. Like, why would I not work with a broker as opposed to just going to the bank that I've been with for 20 years and they only have two products, and
Right.
it's like it just. I mean, I myself didn't know there was really business lending brokers like yourself till I met you, and I'm pretty familiar with the business world, so it's probably pretty uncommon. Um, but it's surprising that it is so uncommon.
Well, a lot of them too, they only do $1 million+ deals. I only know of one
Oh,
other in the entire country that will do anything under 1 million.
oh wow. Okay.
So having somebody that's willing to step up and help out at a lower dollar amount is not super common.
Yeah.
Uh, like I'm looking at right now, I mentioned those two acquisition loans. They're both almost the same dollar amount. They're both a couple $100,000.
Mm.
Well, I mean, my house is worth more than a couple 100,000, but that's getting up there for most people as far as how much money they're ever going to spend on any one thing. You know,
Yeah.
well, let's take the care that deserves.
Yeah. Okay. Are you doing SBA loans? Are you buying, like, are you helping lending with like
Yep.
acquisition?
Yep. Yeah. Those acquisition loans I'm working on, those are both SBA. I have non SBA
Oh,
options available as well. I have them all available to me.
okay.
There's really nothing short of, short of like credit troubles or revenue troubles or something of that nature. There's really nothing I can't do.
Okay.
So, I mean, you got to be able to get qualified. Otherwise, there's
Yeah.
not a product I can't bring to the table.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's good to know. I got a couple of side business ideas that may have to pick your brain on for cash.
Love startups.
So, changing gears a little bit, we only have so many hours in the day. What's something that has really boosted your time efficiency? It doesn't even have to be necessarily in business, but in your life. Like, what's something that you've simplified your life, or kind of equated more focused time in your life? Like, what's a life hack that really helps you maximize your day, maximize your week?
Yeah,
Anything?
I keeping a schedule. I mean, if it's not on the schedule, it doesn't happen, right? And
Yeah.
I could tell you there's plenty of blanks on my schedule, and time management is not my strongest suit. But keeping that schedule intact, and it makes a world of difference. And that's the. I mean, it's nothing. Nothing life changing, probably. Uh, it shouldn't be. But keeping that schedule tight and making sure if something's supposed to be happening, it's on that schedule, it'll get done if that's the case.
How do you figure out your priorities, kind of going back like a higher 50,000 foot level? Like, how do you think about that? Like, think about the start of your week. Like, how are you loading your schedule with what matters most?
Yeah. So, I have almost every single morning is booked out. I have Fridays available. My mornings are booked until I'm booked till 10 o'clock every single day.
Okay.
And then past that, let's look at what do my clients need? Who is there, are there clients that are like in a time crunch scenario? You have times where there's somebody that needs something urgently, and then there's times where it's kind of longer and drawn out, and that's great too. There's room for all that sort
Yeah.
of stuff. But really, past my set meetings that I have, it truly comes down to my clients and my clients' needs at that particular given time. And all those everybody's needs are different, but I try to run with the most time sensitive things first because they're the ones that need the stuff first. So that's really I probably shouldn't let them dictate my schedule as much as I do. But, I guess that's what their needs are, and I'm here to serve the clients. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay. What does the first like couple hours of your day look like? Like, how do you get primed, get ready to roll for the day, have your best thinking cap on? Like, what's your morning routine look like?
Yeah. So mornings, get up, grab some coffee, set my recliner right there, and open my Bible, get some Bible reading, some prayer time in.
Okay.
And then that'll typically take me to my first meeting. My first meetings are I have a meeting every Tuesday at 6:30 in the morning. So, it my
Oh,
days get
wow.
started pretty early. Yeah, my days get
Yeah.
started pretty early. So, 6:30, 7:30, 8 o'clock. I mean, there's not a whole bunch of time in the morning to burn through. So that
Yeah.
usually me up and running and going. And like I said, I have one day of the week where I keep it real loose, and that's probably not to my advantage. But
Yeah.
I like having all my set stuff in the mornings because it's a lot easier to say, hey, well, anytime after this is free, as opposed to I have this here, this here, this here, this here, all over your schedule, trying to get things on the board and on the books. It's a lot easier to just have everything set early, and you can burn through and be done and move on with the rest of your day.
Okay, cool. So you got the coffee to wake the body, and the Bible to wake the soul. I like it. Get you rolling for the day. I do similar things with getting my body moving to wake my body up, and reading scripture for sure is a good way to kind of keep perspective. Your days, sometimes days wear on you, but if you can pull it back to the 50,000 foot level of life's short, let's keep some perspective here. Then you don't get, it's not as difficult to overcome the kind of the day-to-day monotony. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Well, okay, last two questions. They're fun ones. We've got with our business credit cards with Capital One, we do quite a bit of rewards travel. Our clients love to travel for free with the rewards they spend for their products. Do you have any cool places that you've traveled to recently that you could share? With the folks listening in, as far as a cool vacation or a cool place you've gone, whether it's just you and your spouse or your whole family, like somewhere. What's one of your favorite vacation destinations?
Some people would probably say this is cool. I grew up on the Oregon coast, so it's going home, right? A little bit different perspective. But was it in November over Thanksgiving? My wife and kids, we took a 10-day, 11-day, I think it was 11-day vacation, went out to the coast, saw family. My wife and I used our credit card points, booked the nicest hotel in the hotel room in the hotel, big old giant suite, amazing, for free. It was great. Gave rewards points, and just to get away for a couple of nights and just get a break with leaving the kids with grandma and grandpa. And that was our last trip we've done as a family. As a new business owner, getting away is a little bit tough, but
Yeah.
yeah.
What towns were you in? Like, where were you at?
We stayed. My parents and I grew up in Tillamook. My parents still live there, so
Okay.
stayed a number of days in Tillamook, and then my wife and I left for Lincoln City for a night or 2 nights. For 2 nights.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Awesome. Yeah. That's
home to me. Might be exciting for some, but it was a good break.
Yeah. No, I haven't been there. I'd love to. That's the beautiful thing about rewards, is that it's kind of guilt free, right? You may not fork over the whatever $300 to $1,000 a night, but if it's credit card rewards, it definitely is guilt free travel. So you do stuff you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah, it was and that's exactly the case. I mean, I can't even tell you how many vacations we've taken where at least a majority of it's been paid for with rewards. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I know for myself, just kind of like you were saying, I won't travel. I will, but I won't travel nicely, I guess, on my own dime. But when I have all those rewards points stacked up, I sure feel like it would be. I've earned these, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to spend money that's not technically yours. Well, yeah. So the rewards are nice.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, obviously, you seem like you enjoy what you do. I don't think retirement is anywhere in your near future. But what's on your bucket list, or what's something that you would like to do 20 years from now? That if you were to retire, like what's your end goal? What's your life post business, or do you have one that you kind of have any things kicking around in your head?
I will always work. Always work. I will never retire. What my
Okay.
work looks like down the road is definitely gonna look different than it is now.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty open to a lot of things. with the perspective of not trying to get to an end goal, I guess it kind of opens up a lot more doors and a lot more opportunities show up. I've had all kinds of opportunities open up in the last year and a half doing what I'm doing. And, so I've added things to my business. I'm like, hey, let's do this. This is great. I love this. Hey, clients come to me asking me for stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take on a role working with you and taking on new stuff like that. So, it's hard to say what it looks like now. I mean, in theory, most of my work is from a beach somewhere, my feet in the sand and sitting in front of a computer. I don't know, but I don't have a retirement mindset. I have a work till I die mindset. So anything could happen.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good, honest answer. I think that's, hey, if you love what you do what you love, then you're okay with working more. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, good. So I want to thank you. We want to be, again, have people know where to find you. I'm going to have in the show notes your contact info, but if you want to vocalize wherever you want people to connect with you, if they need some lending help or anything else we've talked about, let's what place is best for you?
Yeah. You can call or text me at 208-470-6673. You can email me at pete@idahobusinesslending.com. And I do have a website in the works, idahobusinesslending.com. That'll be live sometime soon, I would imagine.
Okay. Yeah. At the time we release this, which will probably be in February of 24. Yeah. It sounds like you'll be cranking on that site. So yeah, I just want to thank you for being on and thank you with the help you've provided to some of my clients, and I look forward to working with you in the future.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.